Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield were recently released on the Nintendo Switch. Even before these games came out, people were already talking about how bad the games were. They were already making really long lists of problems with these games. But were the games actually as bad as people are making them out to be? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about. And of course, just as a disclaimer, none of the things in this video are meant to seriously bash Pokemon Sword and Shield, but rather to take a look at things that could have been improved in the games that could have made them a lot better, along with a few just for fun problems thrown in there as well. So, without further ado, here are 50 things wrong with Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. They reused Pokemon models from Pokemon Sun and Moon. That's right, they just took the models from a 3DS game, polished them up a little bit, and put them in the Switch Pokemon games. And yeah, a lot of game developers do this in order to save money. But for this being the first ever Pokemon gen on a main Nintendo console, you'd think that they would go all out. And not only did they do that, they also reused Pokemon battle animations as well. Speaking of animations, a lot of the in-game battle animations in Pokemon Sword and Shield were just plain lazy. However, there are a lot of battle animations that look really great, which just goes to show that Game Freak can make really good battle animations when they put in the effort. It just sucks to see that we can go from this to this. And not only that, but the legendary Pokemon that these games are all about have lazy animations as well. I mean, just look at the way that he turns around.
Looks good.
And speaking of low quality, some of the game's graphics look really bad for a 2019 Switch game. There's a lot of parts in this game that look really, really good. However, there were certain parts of the game where the graphics just didn't really hold up. It's like they can make all these other areas look so great and amazing, but then certain parts look like they just stopped caring. Which is another reason why I felt like this game might have been a little rushed. Another problem that a lot of people have with this game is there's no Pokemon that follow you around. And no, it's not really a necessary feature, but it is a nice feature to have. Because not only is it a fan favorite feature, but I feel like it also adds a lot to the immersion of the game. Still no voice acting. The only way that you can change the sound settings in these games is with an in-game item that you can get from a completely optional NPC. So if you just wanted to go into your options menu and change the game sounds, you couldn't do that. I remember when I was first playing through this game, and I thought that the music was a bit too loud, and I went into my options, and I was like, I'm gonna turn the music down a bit because it's kind of giving me a headache because it's so loud. And I couldn't do that because the option wasn't even there yet. I didn't talk to this completely optional NPC to get this earbud item that gives you the option to change the sound settings. And if you miss talking to this optional NPC, you might not even know that there were sound options to begin with. I got lucky and found out about this through a YouTube video, so I didn't have to play through the whole entire game with loud music, but other people probably aren't going to be so lucky, and they're not even going to be able to choose sound options throughout the entire game, because they had no idea about this optional NPC. And yeah, you might could turn the sound down by using your Switch or your TV, but that leaves you with the problem of, but what if I just wanted to listen to the music and not the sound effects? This problem could have just been solved by giving us the option to toggle the sound and volume to begin with, instead of making everyone go through all this hassle. There's actually a mouse cursor in the ending credits of the game. And no, I'm not joking. This is actually in the final product. They forgot to edit out a mouse cursor in the ending credits. It reminds me of the old Pokemon Let's Plays where people would just leave the watermarks in the video. This Pokemon game was brought to you by Unregistered Hypercam 2. There's a huge raid exploit in the game where people can easily get all the rare Pokemon. There were actually save problems with micro SD cards, causing the game saves to have corrupted game data. During Pokemon battles, trainers actually disappear in the middle of Pokemon battle animations, and then reappear afterwards. It just completely ruins the immersion of the battle. No GTS. Team Yell can't even yell because there's still no voice acting in these games. Team Yell was a major letdown. I mean, I miss when the enemy teams were actually threatening in the story. And the grunts' names on Team Yell are still Grunt A and Grunt B. It just makes it feel like Game Freak doesn't care about these characters at all. And not only that, but they're still just copy and pasting most of the same models for Team Yell. Plus, their main hub is just a random gym that's not even located in a fully playable city. Instead, it's just this closed off small area, and in a few steps, you're already in the gym. There's no way to save online battles. NPCs randomly appear and disappear out of nowhere. There's a text error in the game where your mom thinks that you've become the champion and congratulates you before you actually become the champion. There's a glitch where your hair can stretch out to be really long. The new Meowth looks like it's on drugs. The story felt really rushed in the second half of the game. It also felt like the game lacked a lot of content in between gyms. There's an exploit where you can teach an unhatched egg TM moves. But it gets even weirder. There's another glitch where you can evolve a Pokemon that's still inside the egg. Why does it look like I'm carrying around a big ass can of Pepsi on my back? The new Dynamax forms just take a Pokemon and make it bigger. Only select Pokemon actually get new forms, but the rest of them are just bigger in scale. It's like they just took a Pokemon and set it to Wumbo. I mean, why am I suddenly battling a giant wedding cake? And why am I suddenly battling Trump Tower? Oh my god. Shiny Pokemon can't even be seen in the overworld. The entire world stops when you're climbing a ladder. Grammar mistakes. Charizard favoritism. Experience share is permanently on in these games, giving players less options on how they can play the game. You can end up being glitched inside of a tree. Another bland and boring rival. Hop is constantly annoying you. Hop reused the same exact animations from HOW. This champion is literally sponsored by everyone. Lots of old Pokemon attacks were completely removed from the game. Some Pokemon like Wailord don't scale correctly in battle, and in a game where any Pokemon can be giant-sized, this really shouldn't be an issue. You can fall through bridges and end up on a bike before you even get the bike. Wingull just hovers in the overworld. They didn't even bother to take the time to animate him. Why does Scorbunny's final evolution look like a Digimon? A lot of the battle backgrounds look extremely plain and empty. Some of the gym challenges were a bit of a letdown. No national dex. And the most important thing, half of the Pokemon aren't even in this game. That's right, they cut out half of the old Pokemon. So much for gotta catch 'em all, I guess. So if you're playing through Pokemon Sword and Shield and you're hoping to find one of your old favorite Pokemon to use on your team, then you're gonna be really disappointed. And unless they're planning on adding these Pokemon in a patch in the future, then you're most likely gonna have to wait till the next Pokemon games in order to use your old favorites again. If they decide to even put them in the next games. At this rate, they might end up cutting out more of them. It makes me feel like even Game Freak feels like there's too many Pokemon out there nowadays. So with all these problems, I can honestly say that I still had a lot of fun playing through Pokemon Sword. I just honestly feel like the games were a bit rushed, and they could have been a lot better if they had a lot more time to work on the games. Because there were a lot of great things about these games as well. Like, I actually thought a lot of the new Pokemon designs looked pretty good. And Sirfetch'd is my spirit animal. The design is just hilarious and I love it. I might make a second video just talking about my honest opinions on all the good things that I liked about these games as well, because there are a lot of good things that I liked about them. As most of you may have heard by now, there's a lot of changes that are about to happen on YouTube. And yes, of course, I'm talking about COPPA. The way it is right now is that on January 1st, 2020, everyone's going to have to choose between the options that say your videos are for kids or not for kids. If you choose the option saying your videos are for kids, you end up losing a lot of features on YouTube, including the comments section. However, if you choose to make your videos not for kids, the government can possibly fine you for up to $42,000. And of course, they're gonna look at it and say, oh, this is Pokemon, you know, you should be marking this as for kids. And if you don't mark it as for kids, then you're gonna get fined. Even though it says on the box, E for everyone. So, as for my channel and my videos, I'm most likely gonna have to end up marking all my videos for kids. I'm gonna lose all of my comments and you guys can't comment on my videos anymore. Even though my videos are not for kids, because it's Pokemon, I have to mark them as for kids. Otherwise, I end up risking getting fined $42,000 by the government. And as I said, this all starts on January 1st, 2020. It's gonna be huge changes on YouTube, for everyone in the gaming community especially. The only thing we can really do right now is sign the petition to try and get our voices heard. And hopefully they'll change this law, but as of right now it's not looking very good. So for now, all I can really say is thank you guys for watching for so long over the years, and if I never hear from you guys again because the comments aren't there anymore, then I appreciate everyone's comments that I've ever gotten. I've read them all, I love you all, even the troll comments. It's been a wild and crazy ride, and YouTube has changed my life a lot. So, with all that said, you guys, let's just hope for the best. Let me know what you guys thought about Pokemon Sword and Shield in the comments section below. Follow me on Twitter at ABrandonThePast for more updates and funny Pokemon stuff. Feel free to donate to me on Patreon. The link for that will be in the description box below. Thank you all for watching, this has been Brandon, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.